So we had a video before about the different progressions for getting all the way to a proper front squat. Today I wanted to kind of take a step back and just talk about squatting in general and the major cues you need to have in order to get a really good, strong squat that you can be proud of. So when people look at you across the gym, they're not cringing and turning away, but they can say, wow, that guy or girl has clearly done this before. The two sort of most popular options for squatting are the back squat, bar on your back, and front squat, bar on the front. And they offer similar benefits, but with some slight different variation. Back squat's going to load your hips a little bit more, but it'll also allow you to load the bar a little bit heavier. But it'll also provide a little bit more trunk lean, so it will put more pressure on your back if that's a concern for you. The front squat, on the other hand, with the bar on the front, the torso stays a lot more vertical, so it takes some of the load off your back, but the knees will migrate forward a little bit, putting a lot more load on the quads. Now, if you're looking to get bigger quads, this can be a great advantage. Otherwise, the load's not quite as heavy, so if you're looking for pure strength as soon as you can, back squatting might be your best bet. Now, if you're looking for a sport-specific carryover, front squatting is very important if you're trying to get into the clean or clean and jerk and you want to compete in that sort of thing or just get the best number you can get. You need to support that with a strong front squat. Now, the three major cues that we're going to be looking for in either variation are weight on your heels. So you want to kind of start with a hip back movement to get the weight on your heels. It should stay there throughout the whole squat. The second one is to keep a nice straight back. Now, I mentioned in the back squat you might tilt. This can still be straight even if you're tilted. What we want to avoid is ever losing our back and getting this sort of round shape, flexion of the spine. So we want to stay nice and rigid in our torso. We want to keep a weight on our heels. And the final cue is driving the knees outward. This one is probably the most important for sort of getting that best squat you can get. Obviously the back is the most important thing for safety, but once you get past that, what usually holds people back from having either a nice deep squat or getting really strong and consistent is that knee position. So we want to really drive our knees out so we can let ourselves drop in between. So if I demonstrate a back squat, I'm going to come out with the bar. I want my feet about shoulder width apart. Now they can either be straight forward, which is always a good choice, or a little bit turned out. Either one is good. You should experiment with both to find out what feels more comfortable. What we want to avoid is we want to avoid the toes turning out as we descend in the squat. So once you start your squat, you should be able to keep your feet pretty stable and not have them move. That's what we move our knees for, is to allow our hips to open up without losing that foot position. So we're going to try and keep our chest nice and tall. We're going to push back first through our hips and drive our knees apart as we get to the bottom. Now, the front squat is just the same, but you're going to notice that the position is going to look slightly different. Just like I explained, the torso is going to be a little bit more erect, and the knees are going to come forward a little bit more, but our setup and our cues should stay the exact same. Remember that squatting is a skill, and it's probably the best exercise to carry over through almost all of your fitness or strength-related goals. So if there's one exercise you want to master, it's definitely the squat. So do yourself a favor, have somebody look at it, look in the mirror, make sure you're doing it right, and practice, 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 practice. So get a great squat, and you'll get strong and powerful.